This is just a quick one on the word fool in Romeo and Juliet. It is mentioned numerous times. We get I am fortune's fool. I would the fool married to her grave and lead her in a fool's paradise. The word fool is interesting because the early 13th century, it meant a foolish person, an ignorant person. Now that's interesting because if we're talking about ignorance, then I suppose, is there an argument that Juliet's ignorant to society around her in the sense of she defies the patriarchy, doesn't she? And in terms of a question on fate, she is ill-fated in the sense that she is almost positioned in a time that she, as a feminist, independent woman, does not be. She defies the patriarchy, doesn't she? And in terms of a question on fate, she is ill-fated in the sense that she is almost positioned in a time that she, as a feminist, independent woman, does not be. To look at the French root of the word, guys, then actually it means an insane person and a mad person. So again, now we've got connotations of when Lady Capulet says I would the fool were married to her grave. She's literally saying that it's almost verging on insanity that Juliet would stand in that period of time and defy Lord Capulet. And more interestingly, if we look at medieval Latin, it comes from the word follis, F-O-L-L-I-S, meaning a leather bag. Now we can go across the plate and we can go to when Lord Capulet says that she's baggage, because leather bag, baggage, almost interchangeable in terms of starting to put a higher analysis in this notion that Juliet has become this burden to Lord Capulet that he kind of doesn't want to bear and doesn't want to carry. The phrase fool's paradise goes way back when, and it means an illusory state of happiness. So when the nurse says if you would lead her into a fool's paradise, then again we've got this idea that, you know, he's being warned not to take Juliet down this illusory state of happiness, this illusion of happiness. And unfortunately, I suppose to some extent he does, because as we well know from the prologue, their happiness becomes an illusion because we are aware that it is an illusory state of happiness, this illusion of happiness. And unfortunately, I suppose to some extent he does, because as we well know from the prologue, their happiness becomes an illusion because we are aware that it is going to be short-lived, untimely death, and that they are going to die. When we start looking at fool as in a jester, some entertainment, and then we get I am fortune's fool, then there's that argument that Romeo becomes the fool of the gods who are kind of playing with him in the sense of the structuring of the play, the fact that he gets married, then he ends up in this fight with Tybalt, but also the fact that he is a fool because he blasphemes and defies God and then in turn is punished.